tough time with the aggressive decks where Esper does have a better matchup, but they just have a better snowball effect than Esper. One of the defenses, as you can see, are already in place. He has a Witchbane Orb. That's going to be big because that's one of the ways that Esper Control does take over the game.
And so now we do see Klump versus Beckwith here.
Yeah.
And we'll see. Yeah, we do see the Witchbane Orb in play. You see a Think Twice as well.
All right, so
what we might have is a young master here on our hands.
He does. I mean, it is timing because I did just watch the chess movie. What was the chess movie called?
Is that Searching Bobby Fischer?
It was Searching for Bobby Fischer. I just watched that this week, actually.
And so now we are going to see a Azorius Charm here take care of a Thraktos as we are joining this mid-game here again. Beckwith on your right. He is up a game. He's going to play a Hollow Fountain untapped, take a little bit of damage. We'll have a life update for you guys in just a moment. I think our life totals are correct. We'll just confirmation. He is 13.
He's half my age and he's in an SCG Open.
He's 13.
This is
Top 8. A young master.
Top 8 of an SCG Open.
Looking to resolve a Thraktusk. At 13, he's accomplished something that Brad cannot. It's okay, Brad. It's okay.
I feel empty inside right now.
It's all right. As we do see a Snapcaster Mage here in response to that Thraktusk. Likely going to see some sort of counterspell here as we are getting the deck list in front of us. See what these players do have access to. Klump, he does have 2 Dissipates in his main deck. Another Dissipate in his sideboard as well, so he does have a little bit of counter magic. Not a ton, but enough.
He's putting a lot of pressure on Erik right now. Erik already having used Snapcaster Mage to dissipate that Thraktusk, and he has been running those Thraktusk out so he can get Assemble the Legions online. Sitting in his hand, he's got a Wolfrun already. He's got an Assemble. Does he have multiple Assembles in hand?
We'll see, taking a look at his sideboard, he does just have 1 Assemble the Legion in his sideboard and 1 in his main deck, so he could certainly have multiples in his hand.
Yeah, very interesting. As Erik does fan his hand out, he does have a pretty decent grip, to be fair, and he does have a Detention Sphere, so Assemble Legions is probably not going to find any recruits.
Yeah. Seems to be very unlikely here as Erik is going to tap a bevy of lands. He'll take a draw step for his turn. It is a Godless Shrine, so he does have a couple of lands there. It's looking, you know, obviously whenever you're watching the Esper player play and they have that many lands in play, the first thing you scan for in their hand is, does he have a Sphinx Revelation? Yeah. And it doesn't look like that he does right now. So that's what he's probably looking for to probably put this game away.
I mean, both players are probably looking for the same things, right? Like, he probably does had one earlier, and that's why he has more lands than the Bant player, and started just getting ahead on that card advantage early. I feel like either player, the first one to actually resolve is just way ahead, right?
Yeah. You know, of course, starting that snowball effect of Revelation into bigger Revelation into biggest Revelation, as we are going to see a main phase Restoration Angel here. It's going to blink that Snapcaster Mage, and we'll see what we're looking for there in the graveyard. Maybe a Duress type card?
Well, there's a Witchbane Orb in play, so I don't think it's that.
Yeah, so...
Well, that doesn't work.
Yeah, Duress,
no,
that's not going to work.
That doesn't work.
And we will see in just a moment here as the youngster put his hand down very quickly. Witchbane Orb makes it so that you cannot be targeted by discard. Yeah. So we're going to have to stop the game and back this up really quickly, as that Duress should not resolve.
Yeah. All right, so we're getting down to our judge right now, informing the players of the accident.
So you do see we're going to back this game state up here as Witchbane Orb, powerful card, one that we'll bring up on the screen for you guys, as it does give you hexproof. It also kills curses, which is something that we haven't really seen happen very often in its shelf life. But you getting hexproof means you can't be slaughter gamed, you can't be Rakdos returned, and you also can't be duressed. So we'll see what our table spotter does here as far as backing it up and being able to fix this.
Yeah, there's always weird circumstances. It feels so awkward if they don't back it up.
Yeah. So hopefully we can get this right, as I think the the targeting of duress with Snapcaster Mage is still certainly going to happen, because all that stuff is legal. Just targeting targeting Edwin, with duress is something that simply cannot occur.
And there is no possibility of a target with a card like duress, since it does say opponent. Oh, he tapped black though.
Yeah. So he will be able to untap his land. You see a little bit of frustration there from Erik.
Well,
just a simple hiccup.
there should be some frustration at home just bullying a little kid like Edwin.
And so now you're going to see Detention Sphere take care of the Witchbane Orb, and now the duress is going to happen.
Okay.
So ha! And now you're going to see
Gotcha.
the hand of Double Assemble Legion and Thragtusk. So we're all good here. As the Assemble Legion is going to bite the dust, one left in Edwin's hand to go along with that 5/3 beast that you must bring 2 spears for.
Yes, well, multiple spears need when you have an Assembled Legions, and that Detention Sphere is already offline, and 4 lands in hand for Erik, so Wolf Run plus 1/1s every turn is very powerful.
It's not so bad. And now you're going to see Erik play a Glacial Fortress, and looks like he is just going to pass the turn back. Maybe as we won't see an attack here, as both his creatures are summoning sick. Main phase Restoration Angel blinking that Snapcaster Mage. And he does just pass the turn back.
Has the Think Twice in the yard, but no real reason to use it right then. Potentially thinking if he wants to try to draw another Duress.
Yeah. Also does have a Thalian Drown Yard activation available to him right now.
Yeah, potentially racing things. We do see a Jace that's already been exhausted for Erik. Is that his only copy?
We see 1 in his main deck and 1 in his sideboard.
There is still 1 left, and that's going to be one of his last spells that are going to be potent against this Assembled Legion, unless he finds a... Looking to see if he has the 6-mana Blow Up the World card.
Planar Cleansing.
Planar Cleansing.
Which you do not see any of those in his main deck.
All right. So yeah, this card is just locked in. There's no other answer left. If he goes for it, if Edwin just plays this Assembled Legions, there's no more answers for Erik.
Yeah, the question is he willing to pull the triggers? You see a Breeding Pool and a Thragtusk in his hand, but he's going to start by attacking here with the Beast token. You are going to see a small Kessig Wolf Run activation here.
All right, he did tap his red though, so this is 4th Thragtusk. He didn't want to go for it.
Looks like he's fearing a little bit of counter magic, and he is going to cast Thragtusk number 2. So a freshly minted 5/3 will come into play. We'll see a Nephalia Drown Yard activation. I'll turn over a Steam Fence, a Hallowed Fountain, and a Detention Sphere for Edwin. So Erik will untap all of those lands, dying to draw Sphinx of Revelation. Draws a Tribute to Hunger, which isn't the worst draw in the world, but certainly not the best one either, as he's going to play Drowned Catacomb and just simply pass the turn back to Edwin.
Yeah, so he elected, instead of flashing back a Think Twice, to drown your opponents. Do you think that's because he's feeling the pressure of that assemble, and once Edwin finally pulls that trigger, he needs the race?
Yeah, I mean, I think that he's really just trying to potentially get this game over with. It's really just a race of Drown Yard versus Assemble the Legion. And Edwin says, I want to take a look at your graveyard here. Again, Edwin, a 13-year-old youngster who did play yesterday, went 5-4 with this deck that we are being informed. Exact same 75. Decided I'm going to run it back here at the Double Standard Open. And now
so
he's
impressive.
in top 8 and up a game. And he's going to come across with Thragtusk. Hey, what's the worst that can happen with Thragtusk? If it dies, I just get a Beast token. Who cares?
Yeah, it's all good. And you get to look at my face.
Yeah.
That's pretty bad.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
So we get to see a block here. Snapcaster Mage, and see if he's going to pass priority. He says, yeah, that's fine.
Let's start recruiting.
Yeah. And so now we're going to see Assemble the Legion join the fray. He finally has the guts to cast it, and we're going to see a Think Twice, maybe in response here to Assemble the Legion. Maybe he gives it the green light. We'll find out.
I'm very curious, so making sure final tapping.
Yeah.
I'm curious what's happening with the judge.
Yep. And it looks like we are going to see a Think Twice here. Not sure if this is in response to the Assembled Legion or not. Maybe searching for a Dissipate. Klump does draw a Drowned Catacomb, so that's not going to get countered, as we do see another Think Twice. So potential for him to rip a Dissipate here still. So just hang on a second, as he does draw a Glacial Fortress.
All right, so I'm just putting this in perspective. When you sit down against a 13-year-old kid when you're playing Magic, I'll even say, I'm like, okay, I'm probably going to win. I don't want to say it. I don't want to be ageist, but I'll say that.
Ageist? Ageist has just been announced.
But I don't think you'll ever say that you're in the top 8, down a game, with a permanent on his board that you could never beat.
Yeah. I mean, it's a tough spot to be in. I've lost to some youngsters in my career as well.
I have too.
It
AJ
can
Kerrigan,
happen.
I played a lot of games with AJ Kerrigan and Legacy, and he just beat me a bunch of times.
So now we'll see a Drown Yard activation here. Turning over, Hinterland Harbor, Sigarda, and a Sun Petal Grove. Assemble the Legion, a card that we'll bring up on the screen for you guys, because that's a card that's going to begin to take over this game slowly but surely.
Yes, now every turn a 1/1 comes into play with haste, then the next turn 2, and then 3. All of a sudden there's just an army assembled every single turn, plus the Wolf Run lets any of them get Trample. Azuri's Charm only gets to counter the Wolf Run, not the huge army coming in.
And so you see a Drowned Catacomb here for Klump, and he is just going to pass the turn back. So we're going to see an Assemble the Legion here on the upkeep. And you see, too, with that effect on the stack, I'm going to cast Tribute to Hunger, targeting you. Get that Thraktusk out of here. Get yourself a Beast token that will be summoning sick. And you see Edwin taking a look at Tribute to Hunger. Can only target opponents, and it does make him sack and gain
Just
some
like,
life.
oh, that's a cool old card.
Yeah. And so now we do see some of the Legion's going to tick up. And I know for a fact that we've got red-white soldier tokens over there in that booth. I saw them last week when I was in Kansas City when Jonathan Joe was playing. You get those babies out there.
Let's see them.
And there it is. So now we see Edwin draw a card empty-handed.
All right, curious to see what that is, but I do feel like this 1/1 is going to have a higher power than its toughness by the end of this turn.
I feel like that is certainly likely. And if you're Edwin right now, you've probably got a bit of a feeling that Erik is, doesn't have a lot of gas in his hand, and it's just dying to draw a Sphinx Revelation. And here comes that. Yeah, and we'll remind him, that beast is something sick. Not just yet do you get to attack with that beast token, but that soldier can give the beatdowns. You see him moving those lands over for his Kessig Wolf Run. Not sure the card that Edwin drew this turn, but it doesn't really matter.
Doesn't look relevant.
Yeah, because we are moving in. On that Kessig Wolf Run, everybody all aboard. We're going to see a pump here for 7, 8 damage total, and he is just going to pass the turn.
Yeah, not really the amount of damage you think you're going to get hit by the first token from an Assemble the Legions.
No, not at all, as we're going to see Drown Yard activation, turn over a Temple Garden, a Negate, and a Hinterland Harbor for Edwin. Klump will untap, and is it Sphinx Revelation this time? It is Negate.
So you can still negate enchantments that are already resolved, right?
Oddly enough, you can't do that.
All right, so he still has no answer for that Assemble the Legions.
So that's going to tick up to 2. We're going to get 2 more red-white soldier tokens with haste in here. Edwin does draw a card, and you can see that he's barely even looking at the cards he draws right now because he sees that
It looks so cool, too.
I've got the Wolf Run, and I'm ready to give the beats.
Yeah, presenting lethal. He looks so calm, so collected.
And so here he comes, Beast token, Soldier token. You're going to see a Restoration Angel here from Klump. Nothing for him to blink, no Augur Bolus, no Snapcaster Mage. It's going to get in front of that Beast token.
All right, well, do we pump there? Because it's a total of 7, so we are too short from lethal, so might as well pump that Beast, getting that Restoration Angel off the board.
And so you do see him pump that Beast, plus 7 yet again from the Wolf Run, so that's going to become a 10-3. And we'll trample over for 6, 7, 8, 9. Going to push Klump down to what looks to be 3.
3 life, and now Sphinx's Revelation is not even an out anymore because of the 3 tokens that'll be produced as well as the Wolf Run.
And so you see in a fight, Drown Yard, he's targeting himself now, so he turns over his own Drown Yard, Jace Memory Depth, and a Godless Shrine.
Trying to just find that
please,
Think Twice.
Please, draw something. Klump draws a Think Twice.
All right.
So that could turn into anything. As he's going to cast the first of that, he draws a Plains.
My favorite planes, to be fair.
Flashback, he draws a Supreme Verdict, and that is a card that will not save him. So
And
Edwin
that is game.
Beckwith, the 13-year-old master, going 5-4 yesterday, making it in the top 8 today, and he's moving on to the top 4, defeating Erik, Klump, and Esper Control 2-0.
I think we have a new star. AJ Kerrigan, move out. We've got another youngster out there.
I think we might have a Selector Premium article on the way here. Don't tell him Wolf Run Bat can't do it.